Do you love old school anime like I do? Well, then you've come to the right place. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Double Dragon Gaming, and on today's video I'd like to start my little video series called The Golden Age of Anime. Now, what am I talking about when I say the Golden Age of Anime? I think anyone with half a brain could probably figure out that I'm referring to the 80s and 90s old school hand-drawn animation based on their manga counterparts. These are the anime, TV shows, and movies that I grew up with, and so I wanted to do a small video series covering some of my favorite anime shows from the 80s and 90s, some of the stuff that I grew up with. For the most part, I'm going to be keeping this list narrowed down to like the lesser known underground style of anime. For people that want to see something great that may have not seen these before, I'm sure everyone knows of, Akira and Ghost in the Shell, but I highly doubt you've heard of Demon City Shinjuku and Anime X. So that's what this video series is going to be about. Me trying to bring awareness and share with you some of the great anime movies and TV shows that I grew up watching in the 80s and 90s. And, give you something that you may have not seen or heard of before. Something that I think is really great. So let's get this ball rolling so I can start pumping out more videos like this one and give you guys more content to watch. And remember, as always, if you guys are liking the video, please like the video, and if you're enjoying the content, if you love video games and anime and stuff like that, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell on for more content like this. And also, we're going to have some spoilers here, but, it is what it is. When I was a kid, I loved watching cartoons in the 80s. My brother and I both loved to wake up in the morning on Saturday and watch Saturday morning cartoons like, Transformers and Thundercats and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And that's what I kind of grew up with, as most of us did in the 80s, people in my age range. That's when Saturday morning cartoons truly was like the real deal. Like, I don't know what it's like now, and I'm sure kids still like waking up to watch cartoons or whatever, but back then it was like the thing to do. On Saturday mornings when you're a kid, you wake up and you watch cartoons, all the good ones, you know what they are. Then in the mid 90s, I graduated to anime, and this was right around the time that I hit puberty, and this may be a little bit of too much information, but like you can imagine me hitting puberty with anime. Certain types of anime can be a little crazy when it comes to nudity and whatever, so what can I say? Got into hentai a little bit. And so that's how things kind of got kicked off for me. I was a kid who loved cartoons, and once I found anime, I just fell in love with it. I loved the way it was drawn, some of the characters and the stories and stuff like that. It was so difficult back then to get your hands on good anime, but somehow one way or another through local TV stations, and I wish I could remember the name of the channel that I used to watch late at night. There was this channel that would run anime TV shows and movies, and it was great. They would show all kinds of different things, and even Showtime back in the day, I remember, would show some anime that I was like, wow, this is really cool, I've never seen before. Through VHS tapes and sharing VHS tapes with friends and going to the flea market. I remember I would go to the flea market a lot with my brother and my friends and try to find really cool anime, a lot of Dragon Ball Z stuff. I saw a lot of the Dragon Ball movies that way. Going down to the flea market, finding whatever I could get my hands on, a lot of VHS stuff, and watching shows late at night. But I saw all kinds of cool shit that way. Think about how things were back then. Back in the 80s and 90s, think of what it was like for these artists to go to work and draw these shows and movies. Drawing was their whole world back then. They didn't have their phones as a distraction. Drawing was their distraction. It was their hobby, it was their job, it was their whole lives. And so these older anime TV shows and movies, they have their own unique and special look and feel that you just don't see in modern day anime, done with fancy computer graphics and all that. It's almost like they don't have the same heart and soul as the hand-drawn ones, at least for me. Maybe that's just because I'm older. Anyway, you must be dying to know what special gem I have in store for you for today's episode anyway, so let me unveil it, guys. Here it is.
Just as I expected. These paintings are identical to those found on Rhodos Island. It's here. It must be. Ah, found at last. The armor of Mars.
Yes, I understand. That was Mr. Chang. He says to bring it up right away.
You betcha. Took him long enough. Maybe now I'll be able to kick back and enjoy the good life. You're not allowed in.
Not dead!
Hey, what the hell are you doing? Why do I even pay them? Must I do everything myself? You'd think they could at least... Huh? Those bastards will have to kill me first! Dig up your own treasure, you stinking... Damn. Out of my way! Who are you?
You have what is mine. Will you please return it?
Think again, punk! Pakarai!
Three pieces of armor found, 3 to go.
I can't get over it. Lord Laucorn becomes more magnificent with each piece.
The armor of Mars will be mine. And when I possess it all, I will become a god!
Feel the storm? It's coming.
Here it is, one of my favorites, Fatal Fury the Motion Picture. So I chose Fatal Fury the Motion Picture because right now with Street Fighter 6, they're dropping Mai Shiranui and Terry Bogard as playable characters. And I just felt like this might be the right time with a little bit of hype for Fatal Fury and, those characters or whatever. If I'm going to do this particular movie in this series, might as well kick it off with this one. So that's why I've chosen Fatal Fury. I'm going to be showing a little bit here and there, scenes from the movie, just enough to entice you without spoiling it too much. And if you guys get bored and you don't want to watch anymore, at the very least, I am begging you, if you like anime, check this movie out. You're going to love it. It's really, really great, and I just can't say enough about it. So Fatal Fury the Motion Picture is a 1994 anime based on the popular video game series. The story revolves around Terry Bogard and his friends as they confront a powerful villain named Laucorn Godimus, who seeks to gather the pieces of a powerful armor set and unleash its destructive power. It's called the Armor of Mars, and it's just a sick name for a set of armor, I always thought. The film features fast-paced action sequences, vibrant animation, and a mix of martial arts and supernatural elements. It also explores the characters' personal motivations and relationships, adding depth to the story. While not as well known as some other anime films, such as Street Fighter II the animated movie, Fatal Fury the Motion Picture remains a beloved entry for fans of the franchise and martial arts anime. And so I've never been a huge fan of the SNK verse, so my knowledge is a bit limited, when it comes to SNK and all that, but I feel like for a younger generation that's maybe a little bit curious about SNK and some of these characters, that this movie is the perfect starting point to falling in love with them and getting to know, characters like Joe Higashi and Kim Kapwan and Andy Bogard. If you're younger and you start playing some of these fighting games and you're seeing some of these characters and wondering like, who the hell are these guys and why should I care? I really feel like this is the perfect entry point into getting interested into some of these characters and the SNK world. Also, as of 3 months ago, Fatal Fury the Motion Picture turned 30 years old. July 16th, 1994 it debuted, so wow, 30 years ago. Crazy. I always thought the motion picture one, this one, was the first of the 3 iterations that there are. There's 3 movies, or 2 OVAs and 1 movie, including obviously this one. I never saw the first OVA called Legend of the Hungry Wolf, and also The New Battle. I think that's like part 2 of it, but I watched some of it for this video, and it was interesting. It was all right. It was kind of hard to get through at points, and I was kind of forcing myself to watch it. Not bad, but not great either, but it did start things off. Now the second one, whatever the hell its name is, I think I saw that one. So back in the day I was aware of all of these, but I always thought that for whatever reason, up until very recently, I thought that the Fatal Fury the Motion Picture was the first of all of these. And I think I saw that the second one, not the OVA 2-parter, there's another one also that you can only see, I think it's on Amazon Prime. I haven't even watched that one yet, but I think that's the one I saw, I guess? I don't know. So Fatal Fury the Motion Picture was directed by character designer Masami Ubare, who had a hand in other animes such as Mobile Suit Gundam, Bubblegum Crisis, and some video games in fact, such as the King of Fighters 15 in 2022. So the guy has done some things. Don't know him very well, of course. Most of the shit that he's done, I don't really know. He's done all the Fatal Furies. Bubblegum Crisis I've seen, and I know about that one, but there's a list of others that I have no idea. Never seen them. So as I was going through some Reddit threads, because I was trying to, I wanted to see what other people thought about some of these animes, and especially this one. And I came across a post by Furser that I wanted to read because I thought it was a decent one. And he said that the first one is good because it depicts Terry's origin and his first love, Lily, which, by the way, he knows for about all of 2 seconds. Now, when I watched this OVA, the part 1, like, she's in it for a very limited amount of time, and I always thought that they were like a couple and in love, and it was like a whole thing. He knows her for like all of 2 seconds, and then she's dead. So I don't know. Then he goes on to say the second is Terry coming back from defeat. I don't know if he means part 2 of the OVA or that movie. If it even is, I don't know. I'm still not clear on that. And then the third is more of a celebration of sorts and gives more spotlight to the supporting cast like Andy, Mai, Kim Kapwan, and Joe Higashi. Terry's romance, Sulia, in the motion picture, is decent but not written as good as Lily Howard. And I disagree with that, well, from what I've seen anyway. In Fatal Fury the Motion Picture, I thought they did a great job of Sulia and her, her character in general. I genuinely cared about her, and thought she was a cool character, especially the way she was voice acted, but I'll go on in a second about that. If memory serves, this movie was not very much liked by most back in the days. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but I feel like it's aged quite well since then, and I could be wrong, but I feel like, you know, back in the 90s and early 2000s, as I would talk about this and hear about it from others, like generally I didn't get a very much positive feedback on it. It felt like most people didn't like this, or a lot of people didn't like it, so I was always confused about that. I always wondered why it was so underappreciated, and it genuinely pissed me off, actually. How could people not like this movie? I just didn't get it. It is a little rough around the edges, sometimes with how it's drawn. It shows its age, but it still holds up well today, I feel. So it has an excellent soundtrack. Excellent soundtrack. Even the sound effects in this movie are just great, man. Like, there was this one scene where Joe is fighting this Muay Thai fighter, and like he knees him in the face, and you can just hear, like, I don't know, man. It's just like the sound of like this, his knee on the guy's face, and just so many moments in this movie where the sound effects, I was just like, wow, man. It's not often that I like gush about sound effects in a movie, but the sound effects are really, really good. The voice acting and anime artwork design are just fantastic. The voice acting in particular. Now, I haven't really ever watched it with subtitles. I did watch it a little bit, like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes with Japanese voice with the subtitles on, and it was okay. Generally, I don't like to watch movies or anything really with subtitles if I can avoid it, and I know most people, more often than not, they don't like English dubbing, and they think that it's done very poorly and horrible. But I gotta say, man, as English dubs go, this anime and the voiceover work that was done for it is just great. People may knock it and may say, you know, bad things about it, but I just thought that the voice acting for all the characters was done so phenomenally well. Everyone did such a great job, especially the guy that does Laucorn Godimus. I forget his name, and maybe he's a little overacting at times, and he goes a little too much with it. But I just some of his lines, man, he's got some really good one-liners that are just awesome. Terry Bogard.
Terry Bogard. How dare you, Sulia!
So sick with what he did there. Even the girl that did Sulia, she did a great job. All of them. I think that the voice acting for this dub was just done really great, and the anime just looks great, man. It just is how it was drawn and everything. Again, a little rough around the edges, and it's showing its age, but it's also aged well, I guess. And circling back one more time to the soundtrack, man, the music in this movie was like ahead of its time. It was just done so well. There's just so many great tracks, top notch, and it is actually the whole thing is available on YouTube. It's very rare and hard to find the soundtrack, and it's actually on YouTube. So I'm gonna link that in the About section so you guys can hear it, and I highly suggest that you do. Check out the About section and check out the video link I provided, and you can listen to some of the music from this movie. Fucking awesome. So at times the music feels like it was inspired by Roman and Greek mythology. There are these deeply sweeping and moving melodies, provides tension in high-stress situations, and over-the-top pulse-pounding grit during battle segments. The music is better than it has any right to be, and was way ahead of its time. I seriously cannot stress enough how good the music is. And as a true audiophile, I know what I'm talking about here, guys. It was done by Toshihiko Sahashi, a Japanese composer who has done soundtracks for other anime movies and shows, such as Saint Seiya and Mobile Suit Gundam. I believe he composed this with the London Symphony Orchestra, but I can't get any concrete information on it. There's some sick fight choreography. A lot of the fights, like when Joe fights, that Muay Thai fighter, when Terry's fighting like the demon henchman guys, and he does his crack shot. Like, there's just so many really good fight scenes that I could appreciate as a former martial arts practitioner back in the days. For being a martial arts anime, it does the job really well. But it's really hard to not look at this with nostalgia glasses, as I haven't watched this in about 20 years now, up until for this video. I was trying to watch it like as if I had never seen it before, but it's almost impossible to do. I'm a sucker for this movie, having grown up appreciating it, and I still do to this day. I can see why I liked it when I was a kid. Fatal Fury the motion picture is oftentimes compared to Street Fighter II the animated movie, which makes sense as these two franchises are in the same category with one another. I feel like this movie gets overlooked though, because the Street Fighter franchise has done so much better in the gaming realm than SNK has. At least that's how I feel about it. And there is like a little bit of humor thrown into this movie too, that I get a chuckle out of it every time I watch it. There's a few scenes that just always get me laughing every time.
Yeah, man, I saw your sister naked. Huh?
So in a movie like this, you got to have great villains, and these do not disappoint. So I wanted to touch on the villains of the film real quick. So you've got Howard, Jammin, the Waterbender girl Penny, and Laucorn Godimus, who are all awesome as villains go and fleshed out quite well in this about hour and a half, 2 hour long movie. Characters such as Billy Kane and Tung and Geese Howard all make appearances, who you will know from the OVA and the second film. So it's cool that they all came back, and they're all reprised by the same voice actors for the English dub. They're Canadian voice actors, some with well-known roles in other pop culture cinema. And as a little Easter egg for some of my Discord friends, my Discord tag Jammin' has nothing to do with the song, although people like to sing it all the time. We jammin', we jammin'. I got it from this movie, as I thought Jammin' was a really cool character, so that's why I go by the name Jammin'. So as I said, Geese Howard is in the movie. And it's almost as if they tease like another movie with Geese, but it never actually happens. Like you see Geese training and doing his raging storm in the forest.
Raging storm!
And I'm like all pumped up for like, all right, so this one's gonna be over and it'll be some time and we'll get another Fatal Fury movie with Geese. And that one just never came. It never happened. Big disappointment on that. So at the core of things, what this really is all about is Terry's inability to protect his two loves of Lily and Sulia from those who would try to do them harm. And unfortunately, Terry falls short once again. Spoiler alert. Sorry for anyone who hasn't seen it, but still worth seeing anyway, even with the spoilers. And that's really what it comes down to, is Terry just can't save Sulia. And it really is kind of sad at the end. I definitely felt some sadness over the fact that she dies at the end.
I know I love you too, Sulia. But why do you have to die?
And there are some very naughty moments in this movie. Can't mention Fatal Fury the motion picture without mentioning that there's some mildly graphic shit going on. Like Mai Shiranui's dress being torn right up the fucking middle by Howard in that one scene. Yeah, for those of you who like that kind of thing, you got a little bit of you got some naughty shit happening in this movie, but nothing that's too crazy. I don't know. The movie does objectify women a fair bit, but nothing that gets too carried away. It seemed like they tried to do it in a somewhat respectable way even back then. But yeah, it's a great flick. All the main characters get their moment, in the sun. They all get to have their own fight scene and win their own battles in a way. So as that goes, like, they do give the side characters a lot of love. And then you got Terry going Ultra Instinct at the end, which is pretty sick. Gets like this blue aura and goes berserk when Sulia dies. So kind of has like a Goku moment there. Pretty cool. So yeah, I was always looking forward to like a follow-up for this. As I said, I was hoping for one with Geese Howard. And I just remember when I saw it, the way things were going and, Geese training in the forest and shit, I always felt like there was going to be another one. And waiting year after year, eventually I just stopped even thinking about it. But all that time, and we never got a follow-up to Fatal Fury the motion picture. It was the last one and may very well be for all time. So just quickly going into the reviews for all of these movies now. Fatal Fury the motion picture has a 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb out of 1.3k users. You got 4.6 out of 5 on Crunchyroll and 72% positive on Rotten Tomatoes. Then you've got Fatal Fury 2 that has a 6.5 out of 10 from 572 users, and the OVA has 6.1 out of 10 from 626 users. Episode 2 of the OVA has a 4.5 star rating from 186 reviews. And I didn't watch that one, so I can't really say much. Like, it wasn't much different from what I had seen from part 1. And I'm kind of like stunned by that. I don't know, I'm a little confused by that, because from what I did see and what I do remember, this movie just blows those out of the water with the music and the voice acting work and just the fight scenes and everything. It's just, when I saw that shit, I was a little confused by it, but you know, it is what it is. But my personal feeling is that Fatal Fury the motion picture is the very best of all of that, everything that, you know, Fatal Fury has to offer as far as anime goes. And it's just peak 90s anime. Fatal Fury the motion picture is peak 90s anime. They just don't make them like this anymore, guys. And I swear to God, I know, Chris, that you're watching this, and if you say that this movie sucks, I'm gonna come to your house and beat you bloody senseless. Like, because I know you've seen this, and I know how you are. You better give this at least like a thumbs up, you know? Curious to hear your thoughts, Chris. I'm sure my brother is watching as well. I know he likes this movie, but I'd also like to hear from him. Haven't spoken to him in a while, but his birthday's coming up, so I'll see him anyway. But and so that's my pitch to you guys, with a little bit of information, if you made it this far, on why you should watch Fatal Fury the motion picture. Really great movie, great as, you know, old school animes go. You're gonna enjoy it, especially if you haven't seen it. If you love fighting games, if you love Street Fighter, if you're getting into the SNK characters and stuff like that, if you have not seen, and you do like anime, if you have not seen Fatal Fury the motion picture, you're in for a treat. The way it's drawn, really good. The voice acting, try to get the English dub. As a matter of fact, I was gonna say, Fatal Fury the motion picture is available on Crunchyroll, and you'll be able to listen to it with the English dub. It's really done well. Can't say enough about how the voice acting is done. Music for it is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, anime soundtrack of all time. So I've been playing some of that throughout this video. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I just wanted to, you know, give you my pitch on this one, and I have a whole bunch of other animes that I grew up watching that you may not have heard of that you might enjoy, so hopefully you'll come back for episode 2 and watch that one as well. Please leave me some comments if you've seen this before, or if you go and watch it, come back and let me know what you think. I'd really love to hear about it. And yeah, that's it, guys. This is the golden age of anime. Some really special animes that came out in the 80s, really mid 80s and 90s, like Akira and Ghost in the Shell. Some really great ones, man, that a lot of hardworking individuals poured their heart and souls into. So hope you enjoy it, and I will be back soon with more videos, more games to play on Double Dragon Gaming. Peace out, guys.